Hi, I'm Victoria, Learning and Development at Befriending Networks. This is the third top tips section from our national conference on Wednesday, the 1st of November. Please check out the other videos if you have not already seen them. They're available on YouTube. So in the final discussion group at conference, the discussion points were centered on referral criteria and safeguarding training. So let's cover some top tips on these issues. Complex referrals come up continuously, and we're often asked, how do we say no to referrals? Or how do we calculate what is and is not appropriate? This discussion point was assigned to our attendees of conference so that we can compare practice and see what is inappropriate across our membership and help us define complex. Thank you for participation of anyone that was involved, and we look forward to reading all the notes and creating a resource for all of our members later this month. So how do we communicate our criteria? One of the most important steps to clarify your criteria is to make sure the information is accurate at all outlets. One continuous message should be promoted throughout your social media, website, and PR by all staff, partners, and documentation in-house. Referrals can be based on a mixture of communication, what we're advertising, the word of mouth, the referral form itself, and the referrer's needs. Now, within your own materials, it should be easy to go through everything and check that the messaging is right. Word of mouth, however, can be tricky. It is really easy for misconception or misunderstanding to become part of the main discourse if not caught early. And it can definitely be one of the harder issues to resolve. Your referral form is a great way to stop inappropriate referrals before they happen and to ensure that the referrer's needs aren't dominating the motivation. To clarify what I mean, within some organizations, making a referral and having the person in question engaged in a new project or scheme can be a positive outcome. It's what we call a positive destination. So imagine I work in your community and I can sign off and disengage a service user if I can show I help that person to access support elsewhere. By referring them to your project, I achieve a positive destination and my job is done. Now, this framework can mean that the intricacies of your service are not my priority. You're local, you're free, and you're available. So case closed. This is where referrals from other organizations can be dangerous. Ideally, any signposting and collaboration in your community across projects or services are done right. So let's consider how we get others to address our limitations. How often do you speak to your partner organizations? If you have an ongoing relationship with a referral agency, communicate clearly with them. If there are staff who repeatedly send referrals your way, ensure they have the right idea and no misunderstanding of what you can offer. You could do this by attending their team meeting to update their organization in one go. You could invite partner organizations to attend a team meeting within your own project. You could circulate an updated version of your website and documentation and request a red alert on the email. You could have an open day online or in person, bringing all your partners and collaborators together in one step and inform everyone. You could also create an infographic or short video explaining your service. Now, if you live in a rural area, physical events and meetings may be timely and expensive, but online events and communications could resolve this. Just ensure to make it an engaging as possible a topic or agenda to improve your chances of attendance. What could also help is if you ask local organizations to come together and have a forum. By having a forum, you allow everyone 10 minutes, let's say, at your event to speak and share what their project does and what referrals they are accepting. This means that you're inviting people to listen to you, but they may also benefit from it. By building rapport with referrers, they are more likely to contact you and talk through a complex referral before submitting the complete form. If they have awareness of you, of who is receiving the form and processing the referral, they may also feel more responsibility towards disclosing details and giving more insight on why this referral may be complex or potentially inappropriate. If an agency is continuously sending you inappropriate referrals, contact them, explain the problem, as they may genuinely not know and not be doing this on purpose. Ask for the contact details of the team so you can email everyone with your criteria if possible. If the problem continues, contact the project again. Explain that if this does go on, You will no longer be able to accept any referrals from them. As always, ensure to give clarity and explain that this would be action to protect the reputation of your service, to protect the safety of your befrienders, and for the well-being of the person or persons being referred, so they are not left disappointed or feeling rejected. We also need to think about how clear is our documentation. So when we are inside something as part of something, information becomes second nature. We know it because we live and breathe it, and we sometimes forget to explain it to others. So for example, here at Befriending Networks, you might hear from us or see us a lot, but did you know there are only 9 of us? Just 7 of us 2 months ago. We are predominantly part-time and provide support to almost 400 different projects in the UK and beyond. I know we are part-time in a busy team who might take a day or two to reply to an email, but you may not. So as a team, we have automatic replies to any incoming emails, informing you of our working days and sharing our contact page so you can see who else you could contact if you need an urgent response. It is just one way that we try to minimize confusion or misunderstanding to external bodies. So now think about your own communications. Are they explicit? For anyone who's previously attended our course, Reducing Inappropriate Referrals, you know that we audit your referral form as part of the course. And one key suggestion we commonly make for improvements is checkboxes. Checkboxes are just one way to clarify what the criteria is. Add checkboxes to the top of your referral form. And for example, if you are funded to work with a specific age group, you can state that on the form, as you'll see on the screen. The person referred fits the age criteria of 18 to 25, yes or no. Checkboxes can be applied to most of your criteria for a referral and are a great way to clarify the purpose of your project too, without taking up too much space on your referral form. So by focusing on a clear message and a strong relationship with referral agencies, you can help to reduce inappropriate referrals and protect your time as staff, your reputation, and protect your volunteers from complex situations. So how do we say no to referrals? There can be many reasons why we say no to a referral. And here are just some examples. It could be inappropriate, could be part of the waiting list process, could be a previous service user who cannot reuse the project. But it could also be, and the one that is most common that we hear about, complex mental health needs, where your volunteers are not trained for lone working with complex mental health needs. And as a duty of care to your volunteers, you cannot accept these referrals. The key thing is to have a process, clear and specific. We recommend creating a very clear saying no procedure for handling complex referrals. Have clarity. Make sure all staff know the stance on what it is and what is not appropriate for your service. There needs to be equality within your service, and making exceptions for one is not fair to others and can cause confusion for staff, volunteers, third parties about what your project can or cannot accept. We often hear from our members that have to say no if a referral declares dementia, for example, when they are not a dementia themed project. Now, we try to support you with this. We have our dementia training course, which gives you a good practice guide, a risk assessment, and a toolkit of volunteer training specifically for dementia befriending, in the hope that more projects can support these cases. But we understand that you may still feel the need to say no. The key is being able to clarify why you're saying no. Let's look at common concern we hear from our members. Sorry, I'm aware that the screen has vanished. So complex mental health needs under the Disability Act, mental illness or poor mental health qualities as a disability. There we are. Sorry. Okay, so common concern from our members is complex mental health needs. Now, under the Disability Act, mental illness or poor mental health qualifies as a disability if it affects a person day to day for 12 months or more. So if you automatically say no to a referral with a mental illness disclosure, you could be accused of discrimination. Saying no because you are not equipped, you are not trained, or do not have the resources is objective justification, but you need to be able to explain and evidence that. For example, though ideally your staff team and volunteer team could all attend mental health first aid training to accommodate these referrals and support our strained statutory services, the financial limitations of most projects makes this unfeasible. No matter your reasoning, how you say no matters. Be as supportive as possible. Try to ensure that you do not cause that person to feel rejected more so, or to make them feel like they should lie, or withhold information in the future. Be inclusive and accept the person for who they are, and explain the limitations of the service and your duty of care to protect your volunteers before offering a potential pathway for them to pursue. If you have a large staff team and many of you could handle these inquiries or conversations, I recommend creating a flowchart to guide the conversation and ensure a level of uniform to the procedure across the board. If someone has been honest and transparent with you, declare something personal, say no with kindness. Consider your word choice and tone and highlight alternatives. For example, perhaps they cannot have one-to-one befriending, but they are welcome at group events. Perhaps as staff, you could provide a phone call once a fortnight to learn more about them and see if the referral is manageable for a long-standing volunteer who is confident and embedded in our policies and procedures. Or perhaps you can signpost them to a more appropriate service where the staff or team are trained to handle these complex needs. Where possible, do signpost. If you are not sure what you can signpost to, you could check our local council or search online or contact a social prescriber or check out our directory. Please do remember that you can see what is serving your local community on our website. All our members are listed on our directory, and you can access all our members, their websites, their numbers, emails, and so on our directory. So take a look and find out what your neighbours are offering so that you're not, and reach out. Build that relationship and understand their referral process before signposting. Whether a complex referral or not, we need to ensure safeguarding is covered within volunteer training. So as a member of Befriending Networks, you have free access to our volunteer training toolkit. Now, in this toolkit, you will find a PowerPoint on the topic of safeguarding and some general information that is relative, but we suggest you give additional information specific to your project and your safeguarding policy and procedure. We need to ensure volunteers are trained and prepared to support vulnerable groups before they are actively befriending. Information on volunteer training is often requested by our members, and we understand that this topic can be tricky. So let's try and make it a little easier for you to develop this training segment. Let's think first of all about how we are delivering training. We all have a preferred learning style and method. I have some attendees who love to network and discuss at my training, and others who resent it and would rather just be told the facts straight up. Everyone has a preferred individual learning style, and when working within a group, it's good to provide variety to ensure everyone is included. Here are some helpful statistics on a study conducted in a classroom environment that may help you create your training with success. As you can see, the most successful means for transferring learning tends to be discussion, as 50% successfully learn through this method, experience, which 70% successfully learn from, and explanation, which 90% learn from. So if you're reading off a screen and not setting activities or discussion on the topic of safeguarding, the chances are your participants are not consuming the safeguarding information as needed. We want to ensure they can actively participate so that they are in a better position to use memory recall if or when they find themselves handling a safeguarding concern. Case studies can be a fantastic way to illustrate how to handle a scenario. Role plays can work too. With this method of training, there is something to read. They have to listen to teammates, discuss options, reflect on experiences, and explain their logic to others. It's a brilliant way to reach the majority of your group, catering to learning styles and to ensure information is transferred. Importantly, I recommend using real-life examples rather than hypothetical. When a case study is real, you're in a better position to explain how it happened, what was done, and the reaction. It will also bring a level of authenticity to your training. That delivery can create a stronger impact and a more memorable training session. And of course, when it comes to safeguarding, we want to make sure it is memorable. So there are many things you can cover in training on safeguarding, but here are our top tips for content. Explain what safeguarding is. Cover definitions of vulnerability and abuse. Highlight indicators of said vulnerability or abuse. Introduce and explain your safeguarding policy and procedure. Explain duty of care and the legal stance on safeguarding, and give learners opportunity to apply logic. Communication works best when it meets the three key elements. It informs, it educates, and it entertains. We want to ensure that the intimidating topic of safeguarding is broken down into manageable pieces that can achieve all three key elements. It should be engaging, get our brains ticking, and be memorable so that our volunteers can recall it with ease if they ever do find themselves in a safeguarding issue. This can be backed up in your volunteer handbook or in learning checks within your one-to-one meetings with volunteers or refresher training. So, in summary, consider how you communicate your criteria, build relationships and rapport with referral bodies, ensure clarity across all materials, create a procedure for saying no and make sure all that need it are aware, signpost to known projects when you can, and ensure safeguarding training is dynamic and encourages memory recall. All information from the segment was taken from the following mixture of courses. If you are interested in any training and events, we have a few left for 2023, but we'll be launching our winter spring 2024 soon. But if you have any questions, please do get in contact. My email address is victoria@befriending.co.uk, and I'm happy to receive any emails.